Here at home, in the first big vote of the midterm elections, CBS News projects Texas State Representative James Talarico has won the Democratic nomination for U.S. Senate. Now, the top two GOP candidates, Senator John Cornyn and State Attorney General Ken Paxton, will now have a runoff. Ed O'Keefe is in Austin, where he's been watching them count the votes all night, probably didn't get a wink of sleep before he joined us. Ed, want to ask you, I mean, this race in Texas has garnered so much attention, which is rather surprising. Can you break down why?
Yeah, it's a totally valid question, Kelly. 3 hours of sleep, by the way. Because normally for these Senate contests, they think, Ed, why aren't you in Georgia or Michigan or Maine? Those are the kinds of states that have competitive Senate contests, not Texas, where they haven't had one of these since 1994 or even before then. Well, here's the thing. The incumbent Republican senator in this race, John Cornyn, seeking a fifth term, had warned if one of his conservative, more MAGA-backed challengers got on the ballot, the way this state is changing, there's a chance the Democrats could pick off this seat and win a statewide race here for the first time since 1994, the same night George W. Bush was elected governor. And it's drawn more than $130 million in ad spending on both sides of the aisle, already making them the most expensive Senate primaries ever. And it's only early March. If you've got another 12 weeks now of Republicans spending money against each other, Cornyn now in this special election or runoff election with Ken Paxton, that's tens of millions of dollars that they would like to be spending in other states to pick off Democrats. And now the Democrats get to sit back and make their case between now and November to the Democrats in this state. And what Talarico wants to do is pull support from independents and Republican voters in this state who may be upset with state and national Republican leadership. And we met some of those people at his event here in Austin last night, a signal he may have that support.
And Ed, what do you think Talarico's win signals for Democrats, especially since he was up against Jasmine Crockett, who's in the House?
Right. Well, what it is about the way he's approaching things is he's a state lawmaker for parts of Austin here where we are, and he's a seminarian who put off his studies for now to mount this campaign. And he's got what he calls sort of this Christian progressive approach. The idea that you can be rooted in your faith, in his case, he's a Presbyterian, and make sort of a faith-based argument as to why the country needs to change. And he makes this argument that it's not about left versus right in this country. It's about the top and the bottom, that the billionaires are squeezing the rest of us. And that sort of cross-partisan appeal that you're getting screwed by the wealthy in this country is one that he thinks will resonate, and the early polling suggests it could. So the signal to Democrats may be, look, in a time when you want to focus on everything that the president is doing wrong, and that works to build your base, you've got to find a way to, cross over to the other side and pull people over. And one of the arguments he believes could work is the idea that, billionaires are running the country, corrupt politicians need to go, and, we got to bring everyone together. We'll see.
Ed, I was a little bit surprised to see that President Trump didn't endorse one of the candidates in the GOP race. Why? And do you think he will now do that we've got a runoff that we're going to see?
I suspect some of the calls going into the White House this morning, Kelly, are from Senate Republican leadership saying, sir, now is the time to endorse John Cornyn. This man knows how to win statewide elections. It'll be an easier go for us in November against Talarico if Cornyn is the nominee. But, Mr. President, if you want us to have to spend tens of millions of dollars in Texas instead of winning a seat in Michigan, winning back a seat in Georgia, holding on to a seat in North Carolina or up in Maine, then go ahead and endorse Ken Paxton. The thing is, Paxton comes from that MAGA wing of the party, right? He was one of his earliest supporters in this state, and the president is always keen to keep his base happy. John Cornyn doesn't have the base's support. Ken Paxton does. It's a real tricky decision for the president to make if he opts to get in at all.
All right, Ed, thank you so much.